Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a Q&A, part 1. This is part 1 of 2 at the moment. There might be more videos coming later on though, depending on how many more questions I get. Before we get into this video, I just wanted to thank everybody so much for the amount of views that I'm getting at the moment. My first video I posted on this channel, which is called My Struggle with Mental Health, has got nearly 100 views, and that just shows that the word is getting out there and it's spreading awareness and hopefully creating a better understanding for mental health as well. So I just want to say thank you very, very much for that. It's really appreciated. So the video today, like I said, is a Q&A. I put on all my social media platforms that I wanted people to send me questions. Whether they knew the answer or not already, it didn't matter, just to send them through, because there'd be someone out there who didn't know the answer. I have split them, all the questions, into categories. So the video today has got 4 smaller categories, whereas the video that's coming out tomorrow, hopefully, which is part 2, will have and then the video tomorrow hopefully will have 3 bigger categories. So yeah, I just want to say thank you very much for everyone who sent in questions. If you don't hear your question in today's video, it'll be coming out in tomorrow's. If you don't hear it tomorrow's and you did put someone in, drop me a message, because it might just be that I missed it. I'm really sorry if that happens. I tried to go through them all and find every single one of them. So we'll just jump straight into it then, I guess. So the first topic, category that I'm talking about today is the category talking to someone. There's only 2 questions in this category, but I think they're really important questions and they should be mentioned. So first question is, if someone is struggling with mental health, is there certain topics that should be avoided? So I think that you shouldn't really mention their mental health condition too often. And if you are going to mention it, just be mindful of what their mood might be like, what else might have happened that day to maybe affect them. It's just like when you're talking to them normally, just be mindful of what you're saying and when you're saying it, because it might be that time isn't quite a right time to say it or talk about it. So just be 100% mindful of what you're saying and when you're saying it. And yeah, just don't mention it too often, because that can make it worse in a way. So 2 points there: don't mention it too often and be mindful when you are mentioning it. The last question on that topic is, what is the worst thing to say to somebody with mental health and not realise, e.g. are you okay? So I think there are 2 main things you shouldn't say to somebody who is struggling with mental health, especially for this, the points I'm going to make are specifically to do with depression. So I would say never ever tell somebody who's got depression to cheer up. If they're having a day where they're down or struggling, then the worst thing they want to hear is you telling them to just cheer up. I mean, it might be coming from a good place, but it's not going to seem like that when they hear it. The other bad thing that you shouldn't ever say to somebody is just snap out of it. Obviously, you probably wouldn't ever say that to anybody, whether they're struggling with mental health or not. But if you do say it to somebody, just be aware that that's going to provoke a reaction out of somebody. You're probably not going to get the thing you want. Telling somebody to snap out of it is probably one of the worst things you can say. Give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to go get my glasses so I can actually read them all. Hey guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. Just wanted to get my glasses so I can actually read them. But yeah, I think the worst thing you can say to somebody is cheer up and snap out of it. That's just my opinion. People might have other suggestions as well, but for me, those are the worst things you can say. So that is the first category done. Like I said, some of them are smaller categories and some of them are bigger categories. So yeah, that's the first category sorted. Okay, so I think the next category I'm going to do is these are questions that didn't fit into the other categories, so I've just named it other ones. There is only 2 questions in this one as well. This first question is, did you not get scared to tell people? For me, I was at first scared to tell people that I hadn't, that I felt something wasn't quite right. However, I feel that once I had told somebody, I was then able to tell a lot more people and make a lot more people aware of it, so that they were then aware of my situation in case anything went wrong, like I've mentioned in previous videos. I think if I had been scared to tell people, I think that would have made it worse, because I wouldn't have known how to tell people, and then I wouldn't have told anybody, and I just kept it inside, and then it would have made it a lot worse. So I was scared to tell people at first, but then once I told a few people, I knew how to tell people and how to go about it, and then that made it a lot easier. So tips for that one: if you are scared to tell people you're closest to first, so like your best friends or your family, and then once you've told a few people, it will get easier, and then you can go on and tell further people if you want to. Okay, this question's hard. Why is mental health important? So I think, for me, mental health is important because it shows it's a really tough one. Why is mental health important? These are the first time I'm looking at these questions as well. I've written them all down, but I didn't really have time to think about them. Mental health is important because having a mental health condition is obviously an illness, and like all illnesses, it needs treating, but it's important because it shows that people it gives people a wider a further understanding of that people are struggling. I don't know if that really makes sense or not, but I think that it is important and it should be treated like another illness. So if you break your arm, then you get help for that. You get it put in a cast or a brace or whatever, right? With mental health, you can't just pretend it's not there. I mean, you can, but it's not going to help. So you do need to have help, sort of thing. So that is a hard one. Why is mental health important? When I'm answering these questions, if you think I've missed anything out, please let me know, and I'm more than happy to re-answer a question in a future video. I'm more than happy to do that. That's a tough one. Why is mental health important? I think I've answered it as best as I could. I mean, I don't want to make this video too long, hence why I'm whizzing through a little bit. I think I'm going to leave the biggest topic for this video till last. So the next topic is support and results. Okay. So, right. The first question is, do you think there is enough mental health help and support, especially for younger people? This is an interesting one. This is one of the few questions that I'm going to read out today that I have actually thought about already, because it's a really important topic for me, having help and support. Being only 15, I feel there's not enough help and support for younger people who are struggling with mental health. Yes, there's CAMS, which stands for Children and Adolescents Mental Health Services. That'll be along the screen, just in case you didn't catch any of that. Yes, there is obviously CAMS. There is, you can go through your docs, you can get counselling, you can get therapists, but I don't think that there is enough funding from the NHS for young people with mental health problems. I think that it's sort of a problem that's just pushed aside a little bit because people think, it's just because obviously, when you're a teenager, your body's going through changes, your body's going through puberty. I think that people just presume, it's puberty, you're having changes, and, your moods are a bit up and down and everything. So, for me, I don't think there is enough mental health help and support, especially for younger people. I think once you get a bit older, and you are still having mental health problems, I think there is a bigger variety of things that are offered to you. But I think, like, at school, I had a lot of help and support, but I think now I've left school, now I'm not at school anymore, I don't think there is enough out here, like out there in the world, for younger people with mental health conditions. I think that's just a problem that's pushed aside, and they're sort of left to deal with it on their own. That being said, there is obviously bigger companies, bigger sort of companies, like CAMHS, who do provide that help and support that they need. However, that is one company, one business, one support system, if you like. And I just don't think, I think as a young person myself, I think we should be offered more, personally. So that's that question. Do you think after lockdown more people will be seeking mental health help? So obviously at the moment we are in lockdown, we're in quarantine because of COVID-19. I hope that after people watching these videos, after people realising that, their mental health isn't great whilst being stuck in the house, I hope that people are going to go and seek more help, because I feel some people are just reluctant to get help because maybe they think they can deal with it on their own, maybe they think that they can, if they sort of push it aside, it will go away. But I think once you're sort of locked in your house in a way, or locked in one place, and you can only leave for very, very certain things, I think people will realise that they then have worse mental health than they originally thought. So I really do hope that after lockdown, people will be seeking more mental health help, and I really, really hope that, because it will show that they are caring about themselves, sort of thing, as opposed to just like pushing it to one side. The final question in this category is there anything good that comes out of mental health? This could be interpreted in different ways. For me, personally, with my mental health, I think that, yes, there are good things that come out of it. Like I said in one of my previous videos, I used to get really anxious. What year was I in? I think year 10. Just being driven to school in the morning, like that used to get me really, really anxious. And then at the start of year 11, when I was less anxious to go to school, I felt like it was a sense of achievement, a sense of reward. And obviously that's a positive thinking. That's a positive thought. So I think that is one good, that is a good thing that comes out of it. If I hadn't have been anxious going to school in year 10, when I was then going to year 11, if I hadn't have been anxious, that would have just been the norm for me. But the fact that I went from being anxious going to school to not, then that's a sense of achievement. It makes me feel like I've achieved something good, and it sort of, in a way, made me think and feel that my anxiety was getting better. However, there isn't many good things that come out of it. Yes, you do get the sense of pride and achievement and positivity, but there is a lot of negativity that comes out of it as well. So in answer to that question, is there anything good that comes out of mental health? Yes, there is good things, limited good things, and not as many good things compared to bad things. But yes, there are good things that come out of it. So that's the end of that topic, category, whatever you want to call it. Let's get a paperclip, that all back together. So this topic that I'm moving on to now is the last topic for this video. However, I don't know if you can see how thick that is. That is a lot of questions. It's just going to take a little while. So this topic, I have called it helping people, because all these questions are to do with helping people. So the first question is, what can one do to help mental health? I think that there is several things you can do to help mental health. I'm going to go about this question in a couple of different ways because it could be interpreted in different ways. I think that if you suffer with mental health, then you can do several things to help it. I tend to go for a walk every evening before I start to relax for the evening. That then means that I've got out, I've got fresh air, I've seen some nice things outside. Where I live, there's lots and lots of fields. There's a couple of rivers and streams, really beautiful scenery. And so getting out and having a look, and just having a little walk, makes me think more positively for the evening, and then I'm in a better frame of mind. If this question is aimed at more generally, so what can you do to help somebody? In fact, I won't ask that because that's one of the few questions coming up soon. Or if this question was just meaning more generally, what can one do to help any type of mental health? I think that, getting out quite a lot, because I know at the moment we can't go out very much and stuff, and you must stay in your houses and stuff. I think going out for your once-a-day exercise, I think that's a really good way. Having a good diet, that's also help. If you fill your bodies with a load of crap and junk food and stuff, you're just going to feel worse about yourself. Although it tastes nice at that in particular moment, later on you'll probably regretting it. So definitely sticking to a nice, healthy, balanced diet. And I think having enough sleep. I know everyone goes on about sleep is the best medicine and everything. I think that genuinely does help. I mean, last night, so it's Tuesday today, Tuesday the 14th of April. Last night, so Monday the 13th, I fell asleep probably between 11:30 and midnight. I then woke up about 4:30 in the morning, turned my phone on to check the time, saw one of the YouTubers I watch had just posted a video. So for some reason I decided to watch that at 4:30 in the morning, which meant that I then couldn't get back to sleep. So I was a bit stuck then, having 4 or 5 hours sleep, which obviously is not enough. When I finally managed to get back to sleep, I then slept till 9:30 this morning, so I probably fell back asleep between 5 and 5:30, then woke up at 9:30 this morning. I don't know how many hours that is in total, and to be honest, I don't really want to work out. But if you do wake up in the night, I suggest you don't check the time, because then you'll be thinking, okay, I've got this long till I need to get up, and now I've only got this long because now I'm lying here worrying about it and everything. If you don't look at the time, you won't know how long you've got left, and that's probably a good thing, because you're not going to be thinking, okay, now I've only got this long left and this long left and this long left. I think I don't do this because I'm a teenager and I'm addicted to my phone pretty much, but not having screens an hour before, at least an hour before you go to bed, that's going to help you sleep better, and that's going to increase your mental health, make it better. And another thing which I was advised by the CAM support person who I saw at school a couple of times, as mentioned in in a couple of my previous videos, not using your phone whilst you're in bed. That is a big thing, because a couple of months ago I'd be lying I'd have got up and got dressed, had breakfast and everything, I'd have lunch with my family, have dinner with my family, but then between breakfast and lunch and dinner, I'd be lying in my bed on my phone. Now that meant that when I went to go to sleep, I then couldn't get to sleep because my body was confused, and I was the purpose of that. I was the cause of that. I confused my body into thinking that my bed was not a place to sleep, and my bed was a place to just lie on, be on my phone all the time. So I then struggled to get to sleep. I think that's really important that because I still sometimes do it now. However, now because it's such lovely weather outside, I am outside a lot more in the back garden playing with my little brothers. But I think those things, which is sleep, healthy diet, and exercise, I think those are the three main things that one can do to help their mental health. Okay, the next question is, how do you help someone with mental health? So I was going to go into this in the previous question, but I figured I might as well just do it like this. You can help someone with mental health by, well, you could just checking in on them, like I have mentioned in a couple of my previous videos, just having a friend just to check in on you every now and again. That's nice. Just like, even if they just message you, "Hey, how are you?" or "How's your day been?" sort of thing. That's always nice. Make sure you're not like this. Going back to one of the first questions I said, which was about topics. Like, is there any certain topics that you shouldn't mention? I think if you don't keep going on about it, their mental health condition, then that's going to make them feel a lot happier in a way, because then they're not constantly thinking about it. And just making sure that when you're with them, they are as happy as they can be, sort of thing. I think I answered that question in the previous question, really. Okay, so this next one is, what is the best advice you can give someone when they're feeling low? Okay, so I think that the best advice, me personally, I can give to someone who is feeling low is to try and think of the positives. In that, like when you're in that mindset of just, when you're feeling low, it is very, very hard to think of the positives, and I know that because I've been there several times. But I think if you focus your mind on finding the positives of that situation, or thinking of something that makes you happy, then you will get out of that low situation. For me, I either distract myself, so I'll turn on Netflix or YouTube, just put something on, or I will look at pictures of my niece and my nephews. I mean, those are the most important things to me ever. And they are literally my everything, as you will have seen in my first video. They are honestly my world. They are my little princes and princess. So try and find the positives in it. Either distract yourself, put your favourite TV show on, put your favourite YouTuber on, put on my videos. No. Either distract yourself with something that you like doing and just try and think of the positives, and you will get out of that situation eventually. That's what I'm saying on that for now. Any tips for people out there on how to deal with it? So that's just going back to the last question. For me, obviously I don't have every single type of mental health condition. I only have 2, which is more than enough. Just try and find something that you like doing, and distract yourself from it as much as you can. Try and get your family to distract you as well. I know that sounds odd, but if my family can tell I'm struggling, they will try their hardest to distract me from it, and try their hardest even to make sure I'm thinking happy thoughts and positive thoughts, and try and cheer me up, sort of thing, in a way. I remember when my dad first got the phone call from school with my head of year telling him I was suicidal. For the next couple of weekends, he made sure that he had time just with me. There's a pub down the road from where I live. He took me there once or twice to get a drink, obviously not alcoholic because I'm only 15, like a Coke and a bowl of chips. He took me into town near where I live and got me a milkshake. He took me to a cafe, he took me to the cinema, And that's not out of pity. That was not him trying to say, hey, look, I'm going to treat you, now you better feel better. That's not what he was saying. He was saying that he is there for me and he likes doing stuff for me, just one-on-one sort of thing, and he wanted to make me try and feel better. So do get your family involved as much as you can, and I'm sure they will help you to think of the positives as well. But the best thing is just to try and find the positives or distract yourself from the negatives. Okay, the next one. How can one speak to or help someone with a mental health problem like depression or anxiety? Right, okay. I think with this one, this is sort of like the tips again and the best advice and everything. I think that you should, if you're going to, obviously, if your best mate or your mate's got, depression or anxiety, or even if they're not your friend, and you just want to help them and try and make them feel better, that's obviously, a really nice thing to do and everything. I think the best thing you can do is try and talk to them about something they like. So for me, my friends will ask me about my nephews and my niece. They might talk to me about my favourite TV show sort of thing, like try and make me focus on the positives of the situation. If you can tell somebody's really, really anxious about something, don't go up to them and be like, oh, what this about, what are you anxious about, what are you doing that's making you like this? Like, that's just going to make them talk about it, and then it's probably going to get worse. What you can do is talk about the complete opposite. So if, say, I'm going to use me as an example again, going to school in year 10, if my dad had known at the time that I was, feeling like that, because I never said anything to him, if he could see, he would have probably tried to just talk to me about something completely different, take my mind off it completely, and that would have distracted me, and then I would have felt better about it, and because I wasn't thinking about it. So, in answer to this question, how can one speak to or help someone with a mental health problem like depression or anxiety? Talk to them about something different, that's completely different, apart, away from the situation. Talk to them about something they like, and try and find the positives. I know I keep saying that, but honestly, it's one of the best things you can do. So, a good few questions left. This is an interesting one. If you need help in the middle of the night, who do you call? I think if you're living alone, if you're a adult or you're living at uni, I think if you need help in the middle of the night, then if you need proper professional help in the middle of the night because of a mental health condition, then you call, if it's an emergency, you're feeling really, really down and suicidal, or that you might hurt somebody, obviously then you call 999. You speak to the person on the end of the phone and you explain to them your problems. If they feel they then need to send an ambulance because they feel that you are a danger to yourself or others, and that's not necessarily meant in a bad way whatsoever, that might just be that they're worried about your well-being, then they will send an ambulance if they feel they need to. If you are feeling down, or if your mental health is getting better of you, but it's not quite an emergency just yet, then you call 111. And that's obviously the non-emergency helpline. And then, you tell them why you need to call. And you explain to them, and they will give you the help as necessary. If you're a child like me, if you, and you're not home alone, you have got somebody else in the house, I think the best thing is for you to go and wake up and talk to them about it. Because if you're sat in your bedroom or wherever you are at that particular time, and you are thinking about it, and you know that you are worrying about it, or it's making you feel like you're worthless, then being on your own won't be fun at all. And I think you should go and get somebody from your household who will be in the house. If you are home alone for whatever reason, overnight, and it is the middle of the night and you need to call somebody, then either do the 999 or 111, because they will then be able to help you. If you talk to your household member about it in the middle of the night, if they then think it's necessary, they might then ring up somebody and get you proper help. So yeah. Where can someone go if they need to speak to someone instead of a phone call? So where can people go if they need to talk to me face to face? If you need to talk to somebody face to face, make an appointment with your doctor or your GP. They will then, you can then talk to them about your problem. That sounds really bad. You can talk to them about your condition, I should say. If you know it's going to be a long wait or you can't access the doctors, then go to somebody in your family, I would suggest. I was going to suggest the 111 thing again, but that is a phone call. I would suggest then talking to somebody in your family about it. If they then if they think that you need proper professional help, then they will then arrange that for you. Moving on to the last question for this video. If I struggle with mental health but I'm too afraid to tell anybody, what should I do? If you are too afraid to talk to somebody about it, because you don't know how they're going to react or anything, tell somebody you're very, very, very close to. So I tell your best mate, tell your mum, tell your dad, tell somebody in your family who you're really close to. Tell a teacher at school you can trust. Obviously I know we can't do it at the moment, but if we're still at school, then tell somebody you can trust and you know that you can trust them. I am, like I said, addicted to my phone, so I'm constantly on my phone. If you feel that you can't talk to anybody in your family about it, and you for whatever reason can't get through to your friends, please feel free to message me and I'm more than happy to try and help you. Obviously I've been through this and I'm going through this myself, so I think you sort of need to tell somebody, because then they can help you, and once you get the help, then honestly it makes everything 10 times better. When I first started struggling, I didn't have, obviously I've got all my close mates and everything, but I didn't have the option to, in the nicest way possible, none of them said to me, just message me about it, because I didn't tell them. Obviously they all know now, and they all knew when they needed to know, but at the very beginning none of them knew, so they couldn't say, message me about it. If you are struggling with mental health but you're too afraid to tell anybody, what should you do? You need to tell somebody. If you keep it inside, it's going to get worse and worse and worse, so you sort of need to tell somebody eventually. So yeah, like I said, I am always on my phone if you need to talk to me, or if you need to talk to somebody. There is a website called Kooth, and I'll have the web address just here on the screen. I don't know if that's still going, however, but there is lots of online counsellors that are free that you can talk to. Then it's not face to face, it's all over the computer, it's all or phone or whatever, it's all totally anonymous. So yeah, but talk to somebody about it, even if it's not somebody you know very, like if it is just an anonymous counsellor, if it is your best mate, if it is your mum, if it is your dad, talk to somebody about it, because it honestly will help 100%. I hope this video has been useful. I hope that I have answered the questions as well as I could have done. Like I said, there will be part 2 coming out hopefully tomorrow, if not in the next few days. And yeah, if you have any questions, any more questions that I haven't answered today, please get hold of me, either on Instagram, where DM me on there, Snapchat, or Facebook message me, and I will answer your questions either in the next video, or I might have to do a part 3 depending on how many more questions I get, which is absolutely fine. I love getting these questions. I'm happy to answer them all. But yeah, if you have any more questions, please let me know. If in my previous video, what my friends think of mental health, if you would like to answer those questions, if you'd like me to send you those questions, please again get hold of me. I'm more than happy to send you the questions. And yeah, I hope you're all well. I hope you're all staying safe. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video. Bye guys.